Breaking news, this just in. The top stories are the cryptocurrency hedge fund 3AC that has collapsed and now has formally gone into liquidation, and the contagion that it has brought about to other platforms such as Voyager and many others that now are having big problems. And we are going to dive into those top headlines and those top stories, put it all together to give you the top news in the crypto space over the past week. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Please do subscribe down below, click that notification bell so that you can stay updated on the latest happenings in the crypto space, both in the news and the technical analysis front. You can also get on my email list, the first link in the description down below, to get notified via email every time I upload a new video or every time there is an important update in the crypto space. The biggest story in crypto continues to be the collapse of the major crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital, who had at their peak almost $18 billion assets under management and who have now formally filed for bankruptcy. You can see the 3AC has filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy on the 2nd of July. And this is a move that protects its US assets while a liquidation is carried out in the British Virgin Islands. Now, 3AC has gone under, but unfortunately, their effect on the crypto space is so large because they have borrowed money from so many different platforms and big parties that now that they are going into bankruptcy, that contagion, that effect is really big and is putting a lot of pressure to the downside on the crypto markets. For example, Blockfi is one of those platforms that has exposure to 3AC. So you can see over here, they have said, we have experienced around about $80 million in losses in the 3AC accident. Yesterday, we signed definitive agreements subject to shareholder approval with FTX US for a $400 million revolving credit facility and an option to acquire Blockfi at a variable price of up to $240 million. So Blockfi was negatively affected by the 3AC fallout, and they have gone to FTX US to be able to get a credit facility, and now it also seems like FTX US is jumping in and potentially acquiring Blockfi. We also have Genesis over here, who are facing hundreds of millions of dollars in losses as 3AC exposure swamps the crypto lenders. So the DCG-owned trading colossus is said to have suffered 9-figure losses, partly through exposure to 3AC and Babel Finance. Additionally, Voyager has also been negatively impacted because they have allegedly lost hundreds of millions of dollars, again because of uncollateralized loans to 3AC, who has now gone under and filed for bankruptcy. So Voyager has actually gotten to the point that they have temporarily suspended deposits, withdrawals, and loyalty rewards effective at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on July the 1st. So this is obviously a huge step and never a good sign, because when we see in the crypto space that crypto platforms are announcing temporary withdrawal suspension, you know that things are bad. And more often than not, it actually ends up that, a few days later or a few weeks later, in the recent time that follows that announcement, they actually end up being completely insolvent and go into bankruptcy. Or we've seen this over and over, like for example with the exchange Cryptopia in New Zealand that also went under, and yes, it went into bankruptcy with lawyers, and they're still working on seeing if anyone can actually get any funds back. So Voyager doing this is not a good sign. There are even more companies affected by 3AC. For example, Coinflex, another lending platform, they didn't have direct exposure to 3AC seemingly, but they had other big issues where, for example, Mark Lamb, who is the CEO of Coinflex.com, you can see over here, he actually published a post saying Roger Ver owes Coinflex $47 million in USDC. We have a written contract with him obligating him to personally guarantee any negative equity on his Coinflex account and top-up margin regularly. He has been in default of this agreement, and we have served a notice of default. Actually, what happened is Roger Ver also made a post denying this and actually saying Coinflex owes him money. So that is an ongoing story where we don't really know what is going on. But Coinflex has also paused withdrawals temporarily, and we have yet to see what the outcome of this is, but it is not good. For example, we can see over here with Compass Mining that the CEO and CFO have both resigned. Now, this doesn't usually happen when things are going well. Usually, CEOs and CFOs, both of them at the same time resigning, means that there is probably trouble that they don't want to deal with, so they tend to be distancing themselves from whatever potential problems could be coming. That is a logical assumption that tends to happen when these kind of announcements are made. We also have the CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, who is warning that some crypto exchanges are already secretly insolvent, basically hinting at the fact that we don't know how bad things really are behind the scenes, and that there may actually be exchanges, not just lending platforms, but actual exchanges who are already insolvent, and that news has yet to come out, who is insolvent and who is not. Following up on that, we have the cryptocurrency exchange Huobi, who's going to start layoffs which may exceed 30%. The main reason is the sharp drop in revenue after the removal of Chinese users. Previously, Bybit also announced a layoff plan. So you can see this bear market is putting a lot of pressure, not just on companies that were affected by 3AC going down, but basically on different platforms, whether it be exchanges, lending companies, protocols. A lot of people who overextended in the bull market, who didn't anticipate this much of a drop and this much bearish pressure. And now we're really starting to see who's going to end up surviving and who isn't. And there are probably going to be many companies, altcoins, projects, protocols that are going to fail and that are not going to make it through to another bull market. Now, this doesn't have to be a bad thing, but you have to be aware of what is going on in the space. You need to do your own research. You need to do your due diligence, because if you're holding on to anything that could potentially go down and could go under, where the signs are there, the red flags are there, you may want to reassess what you have invested in and what your strategy is going forward. As for exchanges that are potentially insolvent, there's also rumors that Qcoin might be in trouble. Again, these are just rumors. We don't actually know if that is the case. But the fact is that even if there is enough panic and there are enough rumors, even if there is no substance to those rumors, if it creates enough fear, a lot of people are all just going to rush into their Qcoin accounts and withdraw at the same time, which, even if there wasn't a problem, they actually create a problem because of the fear and the panic by all withdrawing at the same time. So, as always, as I've been saying for years on this channel, not your keys, not your coins. Whenever you have long-term storage, you want to keep it off exchanges, off third-party platforms where you don't control the keys. You want to keep your long-term crypto holdings in hardware wallets, such as a Ledger wallet or a Trezor wallet, where you control the keys and it is fully under your control. So even if an exchange goes down, it doesn't matter because you still have access to your coins. If you want to know where to buy a hardware wallet, the links are in the description down below. Now, moving on to some more positive news. While the price of Bitcoin is dropping, Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, is still continuing to buy Bitcoin and dollar cost average. So you can see over here on the 1st of July, they bought an additional 80 Bitcoin at $19,000 each. Now, El Salvador isn't the only one. Michael Saylor at Microstrategy is also continuing to dollar cost average, and he recently announced on June 29th that he's purchased an additional $10 million worth of Bitcoin, 480 Bitcoins at an average price of $20,817 as of 28 June 2022. MicroStrategy holds 129,699 Bitcoins acquired for $3.98 billion at an average price of $30,664 per Bitcoin. So he is 33% roughly underwater on his purchase, so more than $1 billion underwater at this point in time, but his conviction remains strong and he has continued to dollar cost average. If you haven't heard yet, the NFT platform OpenSea has been hit by a data breach after the email delivery partner leaked the addresses, so please be careful. If you do get any emails from OpenSea or anyone claiming to be OpenSea, be careful because it could be a scam or a phishing attempt, so do not click on any links and make sure that what you are opening is actually an official email. And while all of this carnage is going on, money continues to be raised. So OP Crypto launches a $100 million fund to back early stage crypto VCs. So targeting a hard cap of 100 million, the OP FOFI fund is expected to close by the end of Q3. And finally, our last story today, following on the footsteps of last week where Binance had already partnered with Cristiano Ronaldo, they have now also partnered with the social media famous Khaby, the most followed TikTok creator in the world. So you probably know who he is. If you don't, go and find him on TikTok or on Instagram. He has literally got on TikTok 145 million followers. He rose to fame. He makes these humorous clips without talking, basically, all just funny expressions, making jokes. And he has gained a massive following on TikTok and on Instagram and has become social media famous as a result. And he has now partnered with Binance, or Binance has partnered with him, and they actually created an ad with him. So let me play that for you real quick. If you enjoyed this week's edition of the weekly news headline summaries, please smash that like button, click it. It takes 2 seconds to get the video out to a lot more people. Share it on social media. I would really appreciate it. Let's get more people watching this. And if you haven't yet subscribed, click that subscribe button down below. Click that notification bell so that you do get future updates. And of course, as you may know, get on the email list down below. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join our free public Telegram. The links are in the description down below. I will see you in the next video.